In this video, I want to talk about the barriers to having an impact. The first one that comes to mind, and there's many, but the first one is really establishing a thriving relationship. Now, thriving relationships, right, don't mean that it's perfect by any means. This is not about being perfect before you can start giving away goodness and greatness to the world. This is just about really having that mindset, having that inner disposition of wanting to constantly make your relationship better, wanting to constantly grow. And so I think that's one of the first barriers is a desire for growth. If you have a desire for growth, it's going to be much easier to get to this point of wanting to have a positive impact. But growth demands certain things of us. Growth demands that I let go of the negative ways in which I move in the world. Growth demands that I let go of negative beliefs that I have about myself or about my partner. And that's not always easy, because sometimes associated with these beliefs are fears, are past hurt that I have to be willing to forgive and let go. And that's not easy. But growth will demand that you let go of things. And an unwillingness to grow, an unwillingness to change is going to be a huge barrier to experiencing a thriving relationship and to experience your relationship having an impact in the world. I think another thing that I see is just straight busyness. Just moving too fast in the world. I know in my own life, that is what will get me caught up, is when I am moving too fast from one thing to another, when I don't have space to slow down, to remember who I am, when I leave myself behind and I don't slow down enough to remember what's true about me, or remember what's true about my friend or my partner. When I don't have enough space and I'm moving too fast, when I'm too busy, it is going to keep me from thinking about these deeper issues. It's going to keep me from really experiencing the impact I want to have in the world. And so for me, I just know I've got to slow down. As much good things there are out in the world to go after and accomplish, sometimes I just have to say no to those things so that I move at the right speed in order to then really get clear on what's the impact I want to have and how can I share that with the world. I think another one is just simple awareness. Simply being aware of what's possible and being excited about what's possible. Not just cruising through life unconscious to the possibilities and the opportunities. But there is so much goodness and greatness in you and in your relationships and the potential for that to make a huge difference in other people's lives. So I encourage you, get excited about that. Develop some awareness about what's possible. Look deeper than just the stuff that's happening on the surface. Look deeper as to what's possible if things are a little bit more in alignment. If things move a little bit more towards thriving, what is possible? Get excited about that. That just takes simple awareness. Just developing that awareness of the deeper things that stir. I think another thing that prevents me is just time communicating with those I'm in relationships with. It takes time to have these types of conversations that lead to a greater impact, that lead to a thriving relationship. So when I don't take the time to communicate clearly, things just don't go as I want them to go. They don't just happen, right? You have to make these kinds of things happen. And they happen in relationships through constant communication. So make sure you're taking time to communicate about these things that are important. Make sure you have time to sort out what's happening in our relationship. Are we headed on the right path that's going to lead to a great impact? Are the things we're doing here going to help our kids? I know that's a big one for us, is constantly communicating about our parenting, constantly growing in our parenting, because our kids are constantly changing and the world's constantly changing around them. And so we have to have constant communication about who we are, how we're parenting, and is it working, is it not, strategizing about new ways, so that we can have the best impact possible on our kids.